Are you one of those guys who walks in the gym, does a couple toe touches, 2 or 3 of these, and then you're ready to pick up 400 pounds? Well, you're a fucking idiot. Don't do it. You need to stretch out. Today we're going to talk about 4 major stretches that everybody should do before they do any crazy lifting. First stretch we're going to talk about is the couch stretch. Could be done anywhere you are at any time. Position. Get yourself close to a wall or maybe up on a couch or a box or wherever you are. Get that knee as close to that wall or box or wherever you are as possible. We want to stretch out that hip flexor. The common mistake that most people make is you're not keeping your butt cheeks tight, pushing your hips forward. We don't want an arch in your back. Now, if you can't get into the full position like you see here, we want to make sure that you are at least squeezing your butt, pushing your hips forward, and from the bottom of your knee to the top of your head is a nice straight line. Second stretch we're going to talk about is that pigeon pose. You ever see somebody who moves pretty poorly, their knees collapse in? Well, that's because their glutes are tight. And we want to stretch those glutes out with that pigeon pose. They do it in yoga, must be right. We want to make sure that knee is aligned with the body. Nice straight line. A lot of people, they're pretty tight and their knee starts out pretty far. We want to make sure that thigh is aligned with your hips. If you can't get that 90-degree angle with your leg and keep your hips squared, don't worry about it. Prop your leg up on a box, prop your hands up on the box, and then gradually work your way down into that lowered position. Third stretch we're going to talk about today is one of my favorites, the scorpion stretch. We want those hands out nice and wide, face flat on the floor, and let's try to keep those shoulders as close to the floor as possible. With our shoulders close to the floor, I'm going to take my opposite leg and bring it to my opposite hand. The common mistake we see is people try to reach their hand back for their leg. Leave your arms where the fuck they are and bring your opposite foot to the opposite hand. And then exchange. And then try that a couple times. Fourth stretch we're going to talk about today. Some people call it the airplane crash victim. Other people call it an arm bar. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Just get it done before you work out. How do you get into this position? Lay your arms out nice and wide. Bring that opposite hip over your opposite leg, keeping it nice and long. When you're in this position, we want to make sure we're stretching out that pec, stretching out my shoulder, opening up my shoulders, because if I'm going to press overhead, this shit needs to be loose. Get it out of your head that you could throw up weight over your head successfully without stretching out your shoulders and your pec. You're sitting at a desk all day and you're like this. It's time to open up those shoulders the right way. Guys, for all these stretches, the most important thing you have to remember is don't come out of them early. Yes, they'll hurt a little bit, but push through. Each time you do it, test and retest it. Do it a couple times. Sit in the pose for 15 to 20 seconds each time and then try it again. And if you're doing them the right way, you're gonna feel a lot more loose at the end of your stretch session. Now, are you guys ready to pick up some heavy fucking shit? Let's go.